Hey, good afternoon. I think it's noon. I can't see any of my clocks because of the sun. So, PJ and Joanda out and about on the Recumbents. We had a errand run we need to do. Passing on your left. Thank you. You're fine. Thank you. Oh, you too. And yeah, so we basically did yesterday's ride backwards. We went up the Sinton Trail and then came down the Centennial path, or the South Centennial Extension path. We had to stop at UPS. Joe made a really nice lap blanket for one of our granddaughters, and for her birthday, and so we had to stop and get that stuff at the UPS store. And we actually have one that's a lot closer to us, but I just don't like the people at the store. They're not very nice. This one is a lot further, but they're a lot more friendly. So yeah, tomorrow we're supposed to turn to rain later tonight, and then to snow. Supposed to have snow showers tomorrow, and even more snow on Friday. So looks like we're stuck. Thank you. Huh?
So who's faster?
Oh, I am, without a doubt.
My dad does that as well, but he's about 82.
But yeah, we came down, like I said, it's Centennial Extension South on the path, and now we're on the Mesa Greenway, and we're just kind of taking this down to America the Beautiful Park, and then we'll probably head over to Shook's Run Trail. But we stopped off at Starbucks at Fillmore and Centennial, and got ourselves it is warm enough today for an iced tea. So we got a green iced tea, instead of like yesterday where we bought 2 green hot teas because it was cold. Today's got a breeze, but it's nowhere near as terribly windy as it was yesterday. Today's actually a pretty darn nice day, but get a little back view of the trail there. Oh, I'm in the wrong gear. That's because we were going downhill severely. But hey, I hope I want to kind of put in an apology in case I offended anybody in the last video about you know, the type of e-assist system we use, and you know, kind of the small war that seems to be going on between cadence and torque sensing e-assist systems. But I mean, hey, there's nothing wrong with the torque e-assist systems. They're very nice, very accommodating, you know, and they do have a much more natural feel to regular pedaling. So yeah, I got nothing against them. For us though, the Bafangs work out great. They're fairly inexpensive. And I mean, just let's face it, anything for e-assist system is a lot of money. Most of the time you end up paying almost or more for your e-assist than your trike than your trike. Like us, I mean, basically, I paid $1,500 for this trike with no e-assist. And I got a killer deal because I got the last of the 36 bolt systems for $1,500. Now, when we originally bought Joe's trike, she had a rear wheel e-assist setup from EBO, Electric Bike Outfitters. And we got her bike with that system for $2,200. I mean, it was just an absolute steal of a deal. It was great. But the system was pretty old, so last year we switched her over to a Bafang inline like I have. Although she got the scoop on me because they got her a 750 watt motor instead of my 5, and the newer 48 volt setup. I think both our batteries are the same size. I think they're 420 watts. They're what the folks up at our shop Angletech call the 60-mile battery. To be honest with you, I don't think you could get 60 miles out of one charge. I think it's more like 50. That's why when this battery gives up, unless we get new trikes or something, Joe finally hits that Powerball and we have money. And but yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get a little bigger battery. I'd like to have like a 70-mile battery, 75 mile battery, so you could get to, if we wanted to go, both of the next towns, from Colorado Springs that you could get to by bicycle. Pueblo's closer, it's only 40 miles, but there's no safe way to get there by bicycle. You can use Interstate 25, but that's pretty scary stuff. I wouldn't want to do that. I mean, I really would not want to do that. That would be hairy scary. But if you head up north on Highway 83, which is much less busy than I-25, but still busy, they do have a decent, a pullover lane, emergency lane, where we could use with the trikes. And so we could work our way up to Castle Rock. That's about 65 miles from Colorado Springs heading north. But the one we like better is using Highway 115 heading south, and then picking up Highway 50 heading west into no, go straight. Straight. Yeah, sorry for yelling, but Joe doesn't have her hearing aids in when she rides the trike because the wind noise bothers her too bad. So, and without her hearing aids, Joe's pretty darn deaf. So I pretty much have to yell for her to be able to hear me. Normally we would we'd go over I-25 on the pedestrian bridge, but we're not going that way today. We're going to go down this way. So this will make the video at least a little different than the last video. Although, like I said, we did reverse the first part of what we did yesterday. But yeah, I hope wherever you are, you got some decent weather. Today is Wednesday. And like I was saying, we normally don't get to ride on Tuesdays because we have our Tai Chi class at the Pace Center. It's just, basically, you can call it the Pace Senior Center because that's what Pace is all about. It's a medical program specifically for seniors and low-income seniors too, which that pretty much describes us. Low-income seniors. But our instructor, Vim, V-I-M, was ill yesterday, so we had a free day. And at the apartment, the wind didn't look all that bad. Boy, when we got out there, which you'll see by the video tonight, man, we got blown away. It was a wild child. And unlike today, we weren't wearing our vests underneath, so it was pretty chilly too. Yeah, we'll take you down here to the end of the trail, and then we got to jump on a bit of side street and a bike lane to get over to another trail. And I'll cut it off. I'll stop this part of the video down here, and passing on your left. Thank you. Now we've come just about to the end of the Mesa Greenway. It goes into a cul-de-sac here, and that's actually turns into Flat Avenue. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop and turn this all off, and we'll get back to you. Bye for now. Okay, well, we're back. Yeah, we went through the downtown area and stuff, and it's just, it's just too crazy to even think about trying to use the camera. Could have used the other one, probably should have, on at least part of it, but part of it's just kind of ugly. So now so we've gone through downtown, and we're over on the Cachrras Run Trail. A very familiar trail for you all, unless you're new. And if you're new, welcome. Please seriously think about becoming a subscriber. Yes. And sorry, I had to tell Joe which way to go. So yeah. We're getting down there pretty good. We're almost to 500. I think we're like 483 or something like that. It would be really cool to hit 500. So, oh, bounce. Hey. So, passing on your left. But yeah. So now we're heading north again. So don't know how much longer we'll be out. It's like it's hanging there pretty good because it's 1 o'clock our time, Mountain Daylight Time, and we are supposed to. It is supposed to cloud up by 2 o'clock this afternoon, but so far it's looking pretty good. We haven't had any heavy winds, or we've had some wind, but not heavy wind. And like I said, today is a much nicer day. Sorry. Sometimes I think I have my hand on the camera in the right place, and I don't, because it feels weird. Passing on your left. Thank you. Have a good day. Yeah, it's a bit clumsy handling the selfie stick, the slick selfie stick in gloves. Just really doesn't like to let you turn, or when you think you got it in the right place and you look down, now still don't quite have it in the right place. And it's really hard to get a grip on this thing when you're turning the camera. Ah, yeah, see, like right there, I just can't get it to go all the way around like I want. It just hooks up on the glove. So, give a little back view there. Howdy. And, yeah, I'm going to have to eventually get some gloves with grips, I guess. Or find some kind of surface thing I can put on, some kind of, sticky tape on one side but traction on the other, so I could have a grip on this handle when I'm using gloves, because it's just really hard to turn when you're in these gloves, because you feel like it's just going to fall out of your hands. Yeah, so we're on Cachrras Run Trail, and we're in what they call the middle Cachrras Run. They have upper, middle, and lower Cachrras Run. Several of these little parks, but sadly no restrooms. We'll never be able to figure that out. Colorado Springs is just too cheap to. Either they won't put a restroom in, or they close it all winter long. Come the middle of October, they close it till April. You would think it would be, if I was the mayor, I would make sure that every single one of these parks had a porta potty. Every single one of them. That should be a city responsibility. If you're going to build a park, people shouldn't have to go, especially, one with a playground where little kids are. You shouldn't have to, go 5 blocks and pay money to some local store or restaurant just to, be able to do something that comes naturally. And it's just, it don't make no sense. But then our governments do a lot of things that don't make no sense, especially the federal government. Ugh, boy. Oh well, that's enough of that. But it's a very nice day. Same temperature as it was yesterday, like mid-50s, mid-55 Fahrenheit, something like that. And but today's wind is slight, and it's not cold. Yesterday's wind was extremely heavy and very chilly. Yeah, gonna have to start, even if it starts out to be a warmish day, you have to start bringing along the vest and throwing it in the bag just to make sure that if the weather changes, you're not gonna freeze to death. Yeah, because see, now they call this area over here North Cachrras Run Park. So I guess this is where the north part starts. Now someday, Cachrras Run Trail will go all the way to where you can pick up the Pikes Peak Greenway. And but I don't know when that'll be, because they've got the right-of-ways tied up with the Burlington Northern Railroad, because there's an old train trestle kind of thing that they'll have to go through to get you past Las Vegas Street. Passing on your left. Thank you. Have a good day. Go over the little wire-covered bridge here. A lot of walkers today. Howdy. Passing on your left. Thank you very much. And a Shooks Run, basically, if you head north, finally runs into the Rock Island Trail. And that's another east-west trail. The Shooks Run is a north-south. Not looking forward to the next few days. We're supposed to get, at least some snow. So it'll probably be next Tuesday before, the temperature will be up enough to start to melt. So, and both of our dryers in our apartment complex bit the dust at the same time. So, and our nearest laundromat is almost 2 miles away. And, we don't have a car, so we have to put the clothes in a wagon and pull it. But, if there's snow on the sidewalks, that ain't going to happen. Gotcha. All right. Now we're up on the new section of the trail. And right behind, North Middle School now, I guess they call it. They don't call it junior high anymore. Yeah. Coming up on the new intersection to get across Uena here, Uena Street. Okay, it's like you can't. Oh, there we go. They've got a delay on this this light, this crossing that is really weird. Because the cars will actually stop before you will, and you're like, well, but the signal is still showing a red hand, So you're like, well, do I go or not? It was really bad. There was like a real big lapse, and I think they would really frustrate the cars. But now at least they got the lapse to be less, at least. You want to stop up here and split a tea? Well, I didn't actually purposely plan on doing this. I just thought, well, this would be something different than, the last ride. Yeah. If we went around this way. I don't see anybody. So yeah, we're gonna go up here to the Good Neighbors Meeting House, stop and split a berry herbal tea. My favorite iced tea. I wish they'd actually make it in a hot tea. Okay, well, please like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends and everybody you know that might have an interest. And thank you again for checking out the video. And thank our long-time subscribers for hanging in there with us. And yeah, like I said, we're headed to this building over here. This is the cutest little park. This is the Patty Jewett Junction Playground. This is the first time I've seen it with no kids. I mean, doesn't matter what day it is. All right, and there's the Good Neighbors Meeting House. We're going to pull into our private parking spot here. Except for I am at a terrible angle. All right. Oh. Okay, make sure nobody's behind me so I can back up here. Forward. Back up. Forward. Sorry about this. Okay. All right. So from BJ and Joe, Hondo out and about on the Recumbents on a much nicer day. Till we come together next time, my fine friends. Happy trails. Bye.